Hello and welcome to yet another video, and in this video it's a little bit different because it is a requested video. It's actually a video that I can make because I can apply it to all of my Canon cameras and demonstrate to you guys how to do it. And it's essentially about updating the firmware within the Canon cameras. Specifically, the actual request was about the 5D Mark III, but because you can practically do this to all of the Canon cameras, whether it's the newer one or the older one, I just like to show this as the general way of updating the firmware in Canon cameras. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So first thing you need is actually a fresh memory card, whether it is, well, fresh, I don't know if that even is the right term, but I use CF cards specifically. If some of you guys use SD cards, then that's fine. In case of the 5D Mark III or newer cameras, they might have both card slots that you can actually choose, or even CF Express, if you will. Anyway, because this one still has some of my work on it, I already have this fresh one. I usually have keep different formatted CF cards available so that I can do certain things with it, whether it's backing up files or just downloading firmwares or picture profiles, things like that, onto the camera. And there are two ways to do it. The most common one is actually just to download it into the memory card and then update it onto the camera. But the second way is also to download it and then connect the camera to the computer, and via the EOS utility, just download it into the camera. I will not be using that technique because I find it a little bit slower. I like working with with CF cards more, because for me it's always faster and there's no cable involved, which means I can just put the card into the camera and then it's secure inside the camera. Whereas with the cable, if I accidentally tripped on it or whatever and it needs extra time, you know, it's not very reliable, and I just feel like it's a bit slower as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. So here's the page. You can use Canon US, Canon Netherlands, Canon Europe, Canon whatever. There will be firmware available. In this case, I'm using Canon Netherlands because I just typed it into Google and Canon Netherlands came up first. So here, but anyway, we have Google Translator on, so everything here is translated to English. So I'll click download because mine is a Mac, and I actually, yeah, you're gonna read everything. Yeah, anyway, because my computer is a Mac, and just double tap on this driver and then we'll get another Canon driver. It will open right away. Here's the formatted Canon card that I formatted, well, CF card. So all I'm just gonna do is place this in here and open up and make sure it's in there, and now this card is ready to be ejected. And then here, this is the card, and if you don't need this anymore, you can also just eject this and also delete the actual installation of the firmware. And what you need now is just to put this into the camera, like so. Now I have to mention that this actually works the same way with the older Canon cameras, the newer ones, or even the super older one like the 300D and everything. There is a dedicated firmware menu in here that you just have to go to and do it. So without further ado, let's get into it. So now on the Canon 5D Mark III in particular, but mind you can do this on any other Canon cameras, which I will demonstrate in a little bit. You just want to hit the menu button, and then, well, I have it set right on the wrench menu. And yeah, so just press this, and if you have a new firmware for your lens, you can also update that for your lens. But for now I have it on the camera, so I'll just click this and then okay. And then it should be loading the actual firmware in a bit. This might take some time though. Alright, once it recognizes the actual card where it is, just press OK, and you can see I'm quite a few versions behind, so I'm just going to click OK. And yeah, this is the process where you don't want to be turning your camera off and just leaving it on, and it will just update itself, just like updating your OS on your Mac, PC, computer. Yeah. Okay, after holding this camera for about 6 minutes now, it's reached 100% and just hit OK. I don't need it anymore. I can just turn this off, and now I can just show you guys on like just this camera. I obviously don't have any new firmware on this, but if you need a new firmware, it's also on the same wrench tool, and here just hit firmware and press OK if you have a new firmware on there, but I don't have it on here. But you can pretty much do this with other Canon cameras like this older 5D Mark II and 300D, 1000D, what have you, so it pretty much works very similar to each other. So that has been the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, suggestions, please leave them down below. If you need a free photography guidebook, it's also down in the description below. It's on my website. It's absolutely for free. It's for beginners. If you would like to get out of your auto mode and use more manual modes and things like that, I will not be asking you for your email. I will not be bombarding you with newsletters, crap, and everything. So yeah, thank you very much again for watching. Have fun shooting and stay safe. Bye.